Hey everyone, welcome in. I'm Captivate, and guess what? I'm finally back on Dofi. I've been playing Dofi a little while now. I think he's pretty clearly the best deck right now. And he isn't like winning the most events, but he's by far topping the most. So if you want to top an event, play Dofi. I guess if you don't want to win it, it seems to be like every other decks are winning events. Like BY won Nationals, and then Shanks won the Latin American Nationals, and then I've seen a couple case tournaments now that other decks have been winning. But yeah, anyways, so this is the current list that I'm on now. I've played a lot of games with this list. I'm probably like 100-ish, I would say. From my previous videos, the biggest changes I've made, I went up one more Gecko Moria. This was pretty influenced by Jonas's Nationals list. He was running 4, and I think I was definitely undervaluing the card. He is really, really strong in certain scenarios, but he's really bad in the early game. Like, he's the worst Warlord you can play off of your leader if you don't have anything in trash. But late game, you can play him and then grab back literally anything you need. If you need a 2K, grab a 2K. If you want to build a board, play Boa, grab Boa, play Boa, and then you get to leader effect as well. And now out of this one card, you just spit out 3 bodies. If you have other good warlords in your hand, grab Jinbei. So yeah, I really like him. I don't think I would ever go under 2 Jozu. He doesn't come up like super often, but the matchups that he does come up in, he's really important in. So like against BY, being able to just bounce back their Fist Luffy or Sabo or something like that and put it back in their hand and make them spend another turn playing it is really really strong. I went down to 2 pudding. I feel like most people that I play against play around pudding regardless, and it's more just the fact that I'm blue and they have to respect pudding. I think I've maybe play pudding like once every 15 games. So like I very rarely ever need to play pudding. So I could almost entirely take her out and just play other cards, but if you ever play at anything with an open deck list, I think obviously you have to play her. I would never go under 4 Teach. The 4 Crocodile is pretty good. He's good against BY, which right now he's banned on the sim because there's a bug with the Sabo that he's double triggering. So he's not in the sim right now, but against BY, the Crocodile is really good to be able to just put their babies back in their hand because they try to play around pudding by just spitting out their little 2-cost babies, and then that also gives them more Dawn to work with later games. So being able to either bounce them or off just bounce like your 1-cost characters back to your hand, the same way that Law does, works really well. I'm on 2 Perfume. I see a lot of topping lists on 1, but against like Teach, Shanks, Purple Luffy, there's a quite a few decks, Lucci, Smoker, any black tech for the most part, that like you can get them to 0, or there's certain plays that you can make to like recklessly take them to 0. Like you have 2 attacks left and then you're gonna die in like 2 turns, for instance, whereas now you can just go 10-10, take them to 0. You know that you're guaranteed to win next turn because they're not going to be able to get out of a 15 or 17k swing if you have the Teach. So I really like having 2. I think every single game I have 1 in my hand. So there was some times where it feels really bad not to have it, and it's like, dang, if I had Perfume I win, but because I didn't see it, I don't win. And I don't like those games, so I'd rather just run the 1 extra copy and not be greedy about it. But yeah, this is my list. I really haven't been enjoying this list. I think on the OP bounty I'm at like 87-88% win rate with this tech, so it's been feeling really good. I think I'm going to play this in the treasure cups in February, so just getting ready for those right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the games. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you're not already. All of that support means so much to me, and just letting me know that you guys are all enjoying this content makes me motivated to want to continue to make content for you all, and I hope you guys enjoy. And again, thank you so much for watching. Well, we get to play the mirror, and he actually chose to go first. I've definitely come to like second more. If this was a Sengoku or this or the if I had a Sengoku, I might think about keeping this because I already have Teach, but I'm sure I can mulligan into a better hand. This isn't too much better. I'm gonna hope I can draw something off the buggy. I'm still missing quite a few of the pieces I need. Thankfully, I do have a Teach, which is good to have in our hand. I could play down the Teach here on 2. I think instead I'm going to play the buggy and try and figure out what I want to draw. Yeah, I'm going to draw into the Law so then I can play Jinbei and then bounce the buggy to bounce whatever he plays off leader effect and then swing 5 at him. And then on my next turn, because I'm not going to leader effect, I'll draw into a Jinbei, which I can play. Actually, I'll draw Pudding and then I'll use Jinbei off the top. I'll draw Jinbei because I'm going to want to establish a teach because I'll be at 6, so I can go teach and then Jinbei the teach. Yeah, Jinbei with teach. Yeah, we'll do that. We take this, and then now we get this in Goku. Swing 5, and then I'm just going to bounce the Weevil here. And we get a 2k back to our hand. And then on my next turn, I'll draw the pudding. I think that's how I left it. Pudding's here. I'll either draw the pudding or the Jinbei. He does have a bow, which is nice. There is an argument to be made that I could have bounced the Law back to my hand, but I could probably find another Law with the Sengoku. Or if not, I'll get one eventually. This way I have a little bit more board presence. We'll take that one. Alright, yeah, so we do draw the Jinbei. Alright, so I can play down the Sengoku. If I play down the Sengoku and then I spin... Yeah, so we'll do that. I want to look for something better to play off the Jinbei because right now I really don't have anything good. And yeah, I'll grab the other Law. And then what we can do here is I'm definitely going to play down the Teach to establish that. And then I could go 6, 6, bounce Boa. I definitely want to bounce the Boa here for sure. And then I'm trying to think if I want to swing at this Weevil or not. If I go 6, 6, and then 7, it's 1, 2, 3 potentially cards, maybe 4. I think that's the better play to do that, to get a couple cards out of his hand, rather than swinging at life. Even though it is less Dawn efficient to swing at the Weevil, I think it's still worth doing just to start kind of poking at his hand. So I will go ahead and do that. And then what I can do, because I'm playing a Law, this Law will come in standing off the Jinbei, which will be sideways, and then I can just scoop this Law back to my hand after he swings. Yep. And then we'll go Jinbei. And I'm going to go at the Weevil, because I'm just trying to extract cards out of his hand right now. And then we'll bounce the Rested, and then bounce the Boa. Almost accidentally clicked the Weevil there. And now we can see if he has a 2k he wants to give us. I have a lot of 2ks now, which thankfully will help getting out of the 7s. Yep, and he does. Because he took so long, I am kind of thinking that might have been his only 2k. So I think I want to check whenever I swing, just swing like 1 over and see. Yeah, Peach is probably the best thing to bounce there. And then because I am already getting lower in life, I just want to counter out of this so that I don't go too low. And then I know he's going to teach here. So I definitely need to counter out of that one. The unfortunate thing is I don't have a Jozu to answer his Jozu, which is going to become pretty problematic for us. I do have the Law, and he did bounce my teach, which kind of stinks. I'm going to take this. It's probably a little greedy with the amount of counter I have in my hand, but I'm really looking. I don't have many like valuable warlords to play, so I'm kind of looking for those right now. I am definitely going to establish a teach, and then I can bounce. So I could 4 Law, those 2, and then I think we just poke this guy and then see, and then we start taking life. So we're going to go teach for 2. And then leader effect will be 1, and then we can play Law once, which means we can use 1 Dawn. So we'll go 5, 5, 6. Just continuing to get cards out of his hand. And then whenever he ends up getting rid of this, we'll go to face. But I want to bounce both of these so that he can stop getting the teach effect off and then have to play it again. Alright, so he does end up giving that up. Because I'm going to bounce this, I don't need to worry about swinging at it. So now we can go at face. And we'll go 5, 6, 7. 6. I really would love to have a Jozu, but unfortunately I do not. And, okay, and he does have a 2k there. So now we go that, and then we'll bounce, and then we'll do this. And the main reason this is working now is because I have a pretty good board established. So now if I keep him in like a law loop, as long as I can hold on to this board, which I have a lot of counter, I'll be able to get a lot of value out of it. Because I'm sure he'll probably go 2 sevens at my characters, which I can get out of at least for this turn, and then whatever he plays I could bounce. I think he still has a law in his hand, so he's probably going to bounce this teach back, just because it gets rid of one of the, like, it costs 4 to play this, or 8 to play this twice, and then he costs 2, so I don't have the 1 extra for leader effect. Yeah, so he'll probably bounce the teach, I'm sure. And then I will go 2k, 1k. I still have the law. I really only need 1 because I can bounce himself. And then he has 6. It's very possible he does play another Jozu, which would be kind of bad for us. I think I need to counter out of this one. I don't want to go to 1 life. It's going to be too easy for him to put me down to 0 next turn if I go to 1, especially because I can't answer this Jozu right now. If I could draw into a Gravity Blade, that would be really good for us. The Teach is more just setting up for next turn because he's already used Leader Effect. And he did keep the law on board, so he either has another one in hand or just didn't think to bounce it back. I don't remember what exactly he did bounce back with it. Okay, so now we do have 4 swings, and then we have the law. We don't have the teach anymore, so I would have to play the teach, and then I could play the law twice. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the law once now. Just to get rid of the boa, so then we can figure out where we want to swing. I think we want to kill the law, and we can do that. So we're going to play the teach and then leader effect, so we can go, yeah, we'll just go a bunch of 6s at the law. And then as soon as this guy dies, we'll go to face. Yep, and then we only need the 3 Don. Alright, and then now we go 6 at face, which he'll probably take. I'm guessing he's out of 2Ks at this point because no, he's only used 2, so maybe he just hasn't seen a lot. And then we will don't attack. I think I'm okay to leave. I'm not sure if it's better. I think I won't. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the Weevil out to get another body on board. Not the best draw. He probably counters out here. We're both kind of like entering the territory where it's really easy. Like in the following turn, if he takes this, it's going to be really easy. Unless he bounces a bunch of my stuff for me to take him to 0. And then he's going to have to like use this turn trying to kill me, my things. Oh, excuse me. So he'll have to use this turn either trying to put me to 0 or trying to kill my things. And then that leaves the door open for me where if I can push him to 0 on this turn, he won't really be able to kill me next turn without answering my board. And we still have the law. So we can answer the boa pretty easily with that. I'm sure he has a law somewhere, if I had to guess. So Jinbei into another boa. Okay. Yeah, so we could double. I think we... Yeah, I'll definitely counter out of this one. We just go double 2k. And then we keep the law in our hand. We do have to let that die. I'm guessing he's going to have to just... I don't think he's going to do anything with that. Okay, so he'll draw another card. He had a brick. Alright, so because we don't have to play over anything now, what I can do is law, and then I will know that he has 2 bricks in hand. And then I think we've won. So he only has 1 card with counter on it right now. So I could swing 6, and then if he counters, he would have no counter, and then I could go 5, and then I could go 7, which takes him to 0, and then I could go 5. Yeah, I think we do 6 here. And then, okay, so he did draw the 2K. So now we go 5. All right, and then now what we can do is we'll definitely play the perfume. And then let's do... So then we could go 7, 7, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. 7, 7. All right, yeah, and then he gets the 1K. So if he had the extra cards, then he had it. But I think that was a pretty good mirror. I feel like this mirror is really fun to play. I really like playing this mirror. The more I've played it, the more I've enjoyed playing it. So I think it's probably like the healthiest, most skill expressive mirror in the game right now. There's some decks right now that I really don't enjoy playing the mirror with. All right, well, we get to play against Teach. I have 2 like 1 costs here. I'm going first, or no, he's going first. I'm going second. Because I'm going second, I think I'll keep this hand, and then now I'll have the 2 1 costs. You pretty much just want a mulligan for 1 costs. I'm gonna hope that this can find me a Teach. I would have loved to have a Perona instead. Perona's like the best 1 cost to start with, but yeah. So I think I have to take the perfume here. Yeah, just so I have one in hand, because it almost always comes down to needing a perfume. There's just a lot of times where that matters. And then now we can draw the Perona next turn, and then I can leader effect play Jinbei. Pretty much every single Teach playing the game right now will leader effect on this turn right here. He'll use his leader effect, so Jinbei effect will not go off. And then anytime he swings at my life, for the most part, I'll take it. I would have loved to get the trigger off there, but I obviously cannot. Gravity Blade can be pretty backbreaking against Teach, especially if they have like Van Augers and Doc Q set up so that they don't get the draw off of them. And then pretty much all you want to do is leader effect every little body you have in your hand play out, because then you can punish them tapping their little things, and you don't have to waste your leader swing on it. And then you just want, like, if you have 8 Dawn, you go 5 with leader, play 2 bodies, unless it's guaranteed to play this off. Yeah, so now I can go 7 with leader. He obviously doesn't get his effect, and then I'll just play Perona out, just because I would rather have the like 1 cost body out there that I can Dawn up later in the game. Because he has to use his leader effect every single turn, it's too easy for, like, we can just go 5-5-5, and that's 3 cards, and when he's playing with 3 cards, it's pretty hard for him to deal with that. So that's like the biggest takeaway with this matchup is play out every little body you have, because it punishes their Lafettes. They don't get any value out of it. This matchup, you really only lose if you don't see a little body and you can't set up your top. If you see a Teach, this match is like 90-10 in Dofi's favor. And if you see a bunch of little bodies, it's probably like 70-30 or 80-20. This matchup is really favored. I don't have a 2K, which really stinks. And then he's possibly going to play a Burgess here. I don't really... I do have a 2K. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore me. Maybe Finger Pistol here. Very possible it's a Finger Pistol. These 2 or 3 bricks is pretty meh, but he does lose a card playing the Finger Pistol. And then he'll have to trash for leader effects. And then now going into 6, all I'll do is I'll just swing 7 and then play down one of these 4-cost bodies here. The funny thing is when he turns off on plays, putting doesn't actually draw him cards if he's under 5, so that's something to think about. Only 1 body there. And then next turn, we're going into 8. If I have a Teach established, it's crazy with the Gravity Blade. Anytime you can Gravity Blade and then use Teach, it's a pretty big tempo play on 8. If he goes like Doc Q and Van Auger, that's a typical like 7 Dawn play. I can just answer it with the Gravity Blade, and then we're totally fine. And that's pretty backbreaking for Teach. We'll take this. Yeah, so Van Auger, Doc Q, he'll KO that. That's fine. And then we can swing 6 at life, and then he doesn't get to draw off either of these. Otherwise, we would have to swing, give him a draw, get rid of that. So Gravity Blade helps a lot. Yep. And then I will just go... I already have 3 little guys out, so I don't think there's any reason for me to play out the Sengoku here. If I didn't already have 3, I would obviously play him out. But I think I'd rather have the counter because I don't have too many counter cards. And then because I only have 3 life now, I don't want to take too many of these swings. I don't have a 2K still, so I will take that. I definitely don't want to give 2 cards. And then on this turn right now, I could just go double 4 cost. That's probably going to be the best play, depending on what he does here. I do still have a Gravity Blade. If he plays anything I feel like I need to get rid of. And he was holding the Shockwave. This one's pretty interesting. It's like almost exclusively to get rid of the Teach because it's so strong in this matchup. And it's not very... They don't really have like an efficient way to get rid of Teach. And then just having that guaranteed leader effect every turn is too good for Dofi. Yeah, double purchase is just going to get Gravity Bladed away. That's tough. Yeah, so I will swing. And then leader effect. And we whiff, which is unfortunate. But I'm sure we'll take him to 1. And then we'll just Gravity Blade. That feels bad. That feels so bad from Teach's perspective. If Dofi sees their Gravity Blade, it's like... If anything goes right for Dofi, Teach just loses, I feel like. And it's why I've been really hesitant to play the deck this set. I think you just have to like completely dodge Dofis or see like win everything else and then lose your 1 or 2 Dofi games you see. But in like Swiss events, like case tournaments and stuff like that, I think it's really hard to take Teach right now. Because once you go like to the higher tables, like half of the higher, if not more than half the higher tables are all just Dofi. Yeah, and then now because we have all these little bodies out, you can see what I'm talking about, where now we just, completely for free, we get to swing into the Lafitte's. And then I have the perfume, so as soon as I take him to 0, there really isn't anything he can do. No, he's going to kill all my little people. And then I'll counter here just so that there's no, like, cheeky little way for him to steal away a victory. Oh, and then he might play the little 2-cost blocker. I'm blanking on his name right now, but that would be a pretty good play right now. So that I can't just get him to 0. Wait, the Vasco shot. Play the Vasco shot. Even if he had played the Vasco shot there, I think I still could have just mashed. Yeah, he was not trying to pitch that. Yeah, so now all we do, we just go 7, and then we have an easy win here. I mean, even if he had played that, all that I would do was just, Oh, he got it! Dang, what a trigger. Yeah, so now what I'll do is just play Boa, and then, Moria. And then pass. That's so funny. I totally thought we had it there. Yeah, so even if he had played the Vasco shot, all I would have done was he would have had 1 card in hand. So then I do the exact same thing. I just go like 7-7, put him to 0. And then I have enough counter here that he can't like cheekily don these up. And then I have the perfume. So yeah, good game to him. But I think Teach, and it doesn't matter how good they play, Dofi has to brick for the Teach to have a chance at winning. Especially if the Dofi knows how to play the matchup or has played Teach. Yeah, now he can just draw a bunch of cards. But yeah, Dofi is pretty much exclusively the reason why Teach is not like super good, because I think that if anything ever happens to Dofi, like if they hit any piece of Dofi that makes him less good than he is right now, I think Teach would become a pretty big issue. Because like Ploofy is slightly negative, I think. But outside of that, like it really is almost entirely the fact that Dofi is best deck. And then I mean obviously there are other aggro decks like Bello Betty and Zoro and stuff like that, but they don't have a lot of legs to stand in most against most other decks. Like Bella Betty falls pretty hard to Lucci. And then, yeah, so now we have the Perfume, which, if you think all the way back to the very first search, like, obviously we have it regardless. But yeah, we just finished it out there. And yeah, good game to him. Not much he could do with all the gravity blades, so yeah, that was a fun one. Well, I don't think I've ever actually played against this leader, so it's gonna be interesting. We have a really good going second hand here, so we'll just send Goku into Perona. And then I'm sure we'll be able to find some type of piece. If I don't find anything I want for my second turn, then I'll just double Sengoku. Yeah, so I'll get a Jinbei. And honestly, because we are going to 4 and I'm going to go Jinbei into Weevil, I'll just go ahead and play the Sengoku down now. And then I could get another Jinbei. I could get a 2K. We don't have a lot of counters, so there is an argument to make for just grabbing the 2K. So on 4, I'm going to go Jinbei, Weevil, and then if I grab the other Jinbei on 6, I can go Jinbei, Boa, and then fill my board in those 2 turns. And then next turn we'll swing 5, so we'll go 5, Jinbei, Weevil on 4, leave them standing, he'll swing. I'm not sure what type of removal Sabo's running, but I'm sure that he'll be able to interact with our board at least a little bit because he's black. Take this every time. And then we'll just swing 5 first, and then we'll just go Jinbei, Weevil. Because he is a 4-life leader, whenever you're playing Dofi and you see they have 4 life, you can pretty much just assume you just want to jam face and kill them. Most 4-life leaders just can't deal with the aggression that Dofi puts out. And then if we have enough counter, then we'll just go 5, 6, and then 7, which I think we'll probably do regardless, but we'll have to see what he does. I really have no idea what this leader does, so I can't talk too much about like what cards he could be playing on certain turns. Six, we'll take that. Actually only have one 2K. And then he draws the Kuzan, which if we had a Law, then that would be like the perfect, just put it back in your hand. Kuzan's typically really bad to play into Dofi, because it's like, oh, I'll bounce it, now you have 9 cards in hand, I'll just putting you. Okay, so we can play Boa, or what we could do is we could go 7, 7, 7, and really pressure his hand. I'd like the idea of getting more bodies out because he is black, and we have a lot of cards in our hand, so we can pretty easily defend these characters here. So I'm going to play Jinbei into Boa. Jinbei, Boa, and then we'll fill this last slot up with leader effect. So we'll start with a 5, and then 6, and then 7, just swinging in a ladder like you typically will do. And pretty much playing against all black decks are going to be the same. You just want to play as many bodies at one time as you can. So Jinbei's obviously help a lot with that. Yeah, so actually we do get the Law here, so I think I will go ahead and just use the Law to bounce himself and then bounce the Kuzan. So that way on my next turn, because I already have a Jinbei, I could go like Jinbei into the Law to bounce something again. I want to keep the Law in my hand because he is black, and I feel like you can assume every black tick in the game plays Rebecca. Yeah, so now I really don't think there's anything he'll be able to do with our board. So then on our next turn, all I'll do is just dawn everything up and swing. I don't really feel like it will be worth playing this next turn because I have so much counter in my hand. There's no way. Like if he wants to swing, like, I don't know, he would have to swing a huge number, because even if he swings like 9, I think it's worth just to defend and then swing face. Yeah, so KOing one thing with the Sakazuki I think is a little bit too slow. I have to assume that the Sabo just isn't super great into Dofi with the amount of pressure I can apply. And I also saw double Jinbei, which double Jinbei kills a lot of black decks, and I'll obviously counter out of this. Alright, so 2 plays I can do here. I can dawn everything up and go 7, 7, 7, 7, and then blind leader effect. I think that's probably going to be my best play. I could also go Jinbei into Boa to get 2 bodies on board, put 1 on there, leader effect, and then just go 6, like 6, and then leader effect 7. Honestly, I don't hate the idea of that because I do still have a lot of counter in my hand to defend the rested bodies. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best. And then swinging all of these 6s is going to be beneficial for us because I'm just going to like extract all the 2Ks out of his hand. So then we'll go 6, and then just make sure. 6 stun is obviously the threshold with Boa. Alright, so I'm guessing he's probably out of 2Ks there, and then now we just go Jinbei Boa. This game is probably going to be over at this point. And then, so I could play, I think I will play over the Jinbei here, because it's going to be free, and then I can just draw a... I could actually draw the Jinbei back if I needed to, but I think instead I'm just going to draw a 2K because this game's pretty much over. Yeah, that's a little like kind of funny play you can do, just draw your Jinbei back. I'm going to draw a 2K. I don't think I'm going to have any reason to go wide again. My board is full. I'm guessing he'll be able to KO 1 body, and then I have all the counter in the world. I don't think he could KO anything with how much counter I have in my hand. I was running 10 2Ks, and I'm kind of like bouncing around between 11 or 12. I don't think I would go under 11 right now. I really like just having the additional 2Ks. And then this deck does, like, you manipulate your top so much, and then I've increased Moria to 3. I think 3 or 4 Moria I really like, just because he essentially is like another Sengoku that you can just pick what you want out of trash. I really like the fact that you can play him and then grab like a Boa out of trash, and then you go him, Boa goes into leader effect, and then now off Moria you get like 3 bodies. Or you can play him, grab Jinbei something. And then we'll definitely counter out of this. We don't have a perfume, but we do have a law, which we could potentially use. I'm just going to go ahead and counter out and then save the block with the Boa. Because it's still going to be 2 cards regardless, and I have the 2Ks. And then now, if he decides to swing with this, I can just free block. Unless he plays Brook. That's fine, I'll just block and then 2K. Yeah, there's really nothing he can do here. So I'll go 7. And then I could go 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. What I can also do is, now that I've played him 7, I'll just use the law. Bounce him, and then now there's really isn't anything he'll be able to do. He might be able to get out of that, but yeah, he doesn't really have much counter. And I think, I'm guessing Sabo just isn't able to keep up with multiple bodies. I feel like that's something most black decks outside of Lucci struggles with. Like, I know if you can overwhelm Smoker and they don't see too many Tashigis, then Smoker's not too bad either.